Hello everyone and welcome to your immediate post-match reaction for Rangers 4, Kilmarnock 1. It was an interesting afternoon at Ibrox, I think it's fair to say, Ross. We've just sat through what was a tense first half, followed by a much more enjoyable second half, and Ross will tell you shortly that that's all due to Ben Davies being on the pitch. But it was Rangers ran out 4-1 winners against Kilmarnock on this Sunday afternoon when really, Ross, the pressure was on. What did you make of the game overall, first of all?
Overall, we spoke before the game today. I just felt the Rangers had to get 3 points today. Celtic done their job yesterday going into the Old Firm next week, and I thought we just had to do the same. Kilmarnock have had a really good season. It was never going to be an easy game. Of course, the red card has helped us in that regard in terms of getting momentum in the game and seeing it through. But I just, honestly, really looking at this, I just thought today the performance was kind of irrelevant at this stage of the season. And I'm not usually like that. I usually like to see a bit more from Rangers, but I just thought today, get the 3 points, go into that Old Firm next week with something to play for, and really that's what you want at this stage of the season.
Yeah, how much of that attitude was down to the fact that we need to go into next week at Celtic Park with something to play for and something to push for? I felt like when we came to the game today, it was really flat. Everyone was really flat. Everyone was kind of just, everyone was, they just want to get to the Scottish Cup final now and that be that. A lot of people seem resigned to the fact that we're not going to win the league title, but how much does a performance like that, or potentially more a result than a performance like that, maybe boost hopes ahead of next week?
I think that's fair. I'm not going to change my opinion that I do think the performance overall, when I was coming into the game today, I thought it was irrelevant and just get there. But actually, when you get to the end of the game, you've scored 4 goals against a really good Kilmarnock team. You'd like to think maybe not the support as much, because I think you're right, the psychology of the fans is there, and I'm not really sure that's going to change until this game is played next week. But I thought that will probably give the players a big boost going into it, because I think we've felt for a while over the season, maybe over the past 5-6 weeks, that we needed this type of performance to come. I didn't expect it to be today, and that's maybe why I felt the performance doesn't matter. But look, they've came out in that second half, they've done really well, they've set themselves up next week going into that game with something to play for. That's exactly what you wanted, isn't it? You want to go to Parkhead, pressure on both sides, of course, but you want to go into that game with something to play for, with something riding on it. There's emotion involved in the game, and I think that gives Rangers a better chance of getting a result. If we had slipped up today, I think it would have, Celtic go into that game with a wee bit more confidence or comfortable. I don't think you want that. I think you want them playing under pressure as well as us. So we've done that today. We've set ourselves up for a huge game next week.
And how big a factor do you think? Obviously Celtic played first this weekend, put the points on the board with a 3-0 win against Hearts yesterday. We came into this knowing we couldn't slip up in any way. We kind of had to keep pace with them, at least goal difference wise. How much pressure or extra pressure does that put on the players when they're playing in front of 50,000 fans?
Oh, it definitely does put extra pressure on you. I've heard a lot of professional footballers talk about this.
Do you think we saw that today at times?
I don't know. It's a strange one, because I don't know how you feel on this, but I felt Rangers started the game well today. So it would be. I don't think I would be correct in saying the way I look at it, that they came into the game with a lot of pressure and anxiety, because I thought they came out well. But I think we're going to come on to it. I think the performance kind of changed and things flattened down once Kilmarnock grabbed that goal, and it was probably against the run of play, but we have seen vulnerabilities in Rangers' defence now, so we maybe shouldn't be surprised in that. But no, there's definitely pressure on when you play after. Heard a lot of Premier League ex-pros talk about this as well. You're always looking at each other's games. I know players will pretend they don't, but they definitely do, right? So Rangers will have known what they need to do today to keep pace, and look, they've shown up and they've done it. So that's the way you look at it. You park this now. I know we're going to analyse the game, but you park this now, you move on to next week, and you go to Parkhead and got to win the game.
Yeah, as you say, Rangers started quite well as we came into the game, but it was hard to get any rhythm or any flow going, because in the first 11-12 minutes there were 3 stoppages.
I don't think we've seen any football in the first 10 minutes.
Three long stoppages for VAR. I think by the time the third one came along, in which Rangers actually got their penalty, everyone was fed up. They were just play the game. Which is a weird one when we were obviously about to benefit from a correction to a decision, but I felt like that gave a really truncated start to the game, and that was a period Kilmarnock scored their goal as well, and we saw in the replay at half time when we were up at the other end when it was scored, and we thought Matty Kennedy had scored it, but it was a James Tavernier own goal. Just disappointing to lose that type of goal again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think defensively it sums us up at the moment. I think there's there definitely is a level of vulnerability to our back four, regardless of who plays at this point. I think there's been times in the past where we'd maybe pick out individuals and why we're not playing well, but I just think the stability of our defence, probably not even just the back four, everyone in front in terms of defending the ball, probably just aren't at it at the moment. Yeah. It's well worked from Kilmarnock in terms of, I think it's Danny Armstrong that plays the ball back, and it's one of those balls that was actually, we score from it as well. It's very similar, right, with Lundstrom clipping it into the back post, so it is a difficult ball to defend sometimes. Matty Kennedy does well, he gets there, and once you get there, you're hoping that you get a bit of luck, and it did. I mean, we watched it back at half time in the press area. How much can James Tavernier do? I'm not sure. You know, it does come at him pretty quick and it hits off his arm and goes in, so you know, that probably just sums up where Tav is at the moment. He is being a wee bit unlucky in things, but yeah, it was disappointing based on the way we'd started the game. But you always know with Kilmarnock that they are going to play for those kind of crosses, set pieces and things like that, and they get a goal from it. So yeah, fair play to them. Yeah,
I think so. And going down a goal that early in the game, they've always got so much time to get back into it. And how Rangers...
Oh, you would rather the opposition score early, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
you would always rather that.
And, so you're disappointed and you're frustrated because we've conceded the goal, but you think still got 78 minutes plus all the VAR stoppage time to
but 30 minutes
to rescue it, so you're quite relaxed, but you're expecting a reaction, and we get the opportunity pretty quickly. There's a nice ball over the top. Fabio Silva plays the ball across. I think it's Diomande is coming in to poke the ball home, but is blocked on the line by a defender. Referee waves play on. The VAR, the video assistant referee comes in and basically says, you need to go look at this one. That it didn't look like a handball in real time, to be fair. Neither of us thought it was, but clear as day when you see it on the replay. Penalty and a red card. You're thinking, get the goal here. Still got 70 minutes. I was thinking, you were thinking completely differently. You were saying he's going to sky this one, and it's going to be typical Rangers. We'll make this as hard as we can for ourselves. And lo and behold, James Tavernier steps up. I don't think it was a bad penalty.
No, it was a really good save.
I don't think it was a bad penalty for him. The keeper was fully outstretched. He went the right way. That can happen. So it's a bit deflating at that point to not be level, and it seemed to have an impact in the stadium as well, pretty much for the rest of that first half.
Yeah, I like you threw me under the bus there and let everyone know about my negativity sitting in the gantry today. I didn't have a good feeling with Tav stepping up. Maybe because the way we'd lost the goal, the way that you then get back into the game with a penalty like that. Joe Wright is correctly sent off. I know he was having a bit of argument with the fourth official at the time. I mean, it's a clear red card. So you've handballed it on the line. There's no really other way of getting around that. But I just thought... too good to be true that we're going to get back in the game this way, and I just had a bad feeling about it. What I will say is, it's not the worst penalty I've seen from Tavernier. It's a really good save from Will Dennis. He gets down low, gets a good hand to it. I think the most disappointing for me after that was Rangers go up a man. You've got an extra man, and I think if you sat back and watched that game, if you'd invited someone into the stadium to watch the game for the last 15 minutes of the first half, I don't think you would have been able to know that Rangers had an extra man. I don't know if that's because Kilmarnock defended well, or we just didn't take enough advantage of the space.
I think we continued to play. I think for the first 10 minutes after it, we continued to try and play long balls over the top, which are bread and butter for teams like Kilmarnock. They're really difficult because you have to be insanely accurate to land the ball on the feet of the striker, and we were just getting nothing from it. And then you think we played a couple of passages of play where I think Cantwell kind of linked up with a few different, Cantwell and Diomande and a few different sort of players linked up, and it started to look maybe okay, that's how we play it. And then we just slowed down. We just slowed down the play. We let Kilmarnock constantly get back in their two banks of five, and we just constantly slowed down the play, and I thought that was really disappointing, and it led to a lot of frustration in the stadium.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd are definitely frustrated at that point. What I will say is the support today, where I felt for the most part stayed with the team. Which is very difficult in these circumstances when the pressure is on. Like you said, there are a lot of fans at the moment that don't believe the team have what it takes to go and win the title. So to stay with the team today, crowd deserve a lot of credit. But at that point there was definitely a lot of frustration in the stands. There was a lot of frustration with myself because I wanted to see a wee bit more from the team to make the most of the space that they were being given by Kilmarnock because of the extra man. And I always think in circumstances like that, and it's a very similar situation that we've seen with Motherwell earlier in the season here, where we lost 2-1. We got the equaliser that day, and we started to rush things and chase the game, and we lost it. And obviously it's not ended up that way today, but I felt there was a little bit of that in the first half where Rangers felt, okay, we've got the extra man now, we just need to take advantage of it right now.
Yeah.
But you've got 65, 70 minutes to get back into the game.
Yeah.
Try and utilise the ball correctly, move Kilmarnock side to side, try and find the spaces, because you're going to tire them out. They've got to play that way for the rest of the game, and I think we've seen that in the second half. Kilmarnock lost a lot of the intensity, which is completely understandable. So I think that was the disappointing thing for me, because I want Rangers in that moment to seize the initiative. That I want them to, okay, everyone calm down, a little bit of composure on the ball, let's calm things, let's try and find the space. We didn't really do that, and we let Kilmarnock kind of settle into the game again. I'm sure we'll come on to the Fabio Silva goal, but between those points, it was quite disappointing.
Yeah, that's where we'll go next. We had a bit of a chat, sitting beside each other and saying even if it's still 1-0 to Kilmarnock at 60 minutes, they're going to tire, because was it Matty Kennedy in particular was putting a power of work down our right hand side.
We've all played football at some level. That's a terrible shift, isn't it? Where he's just got to cover the fullback constantly. I felt for him today. That was
So he was putting a power of work, but you could tell it was going to have an impact.
Yeah.
And all the better was the fact that we managed to get the goal, the equaliser, right on the stroke of half time. 8 minutes of stoppage time, probably about 7 minutes 30 seconds into it. Diomande does some good work down the right hand side, pulls the ball back to John Lundstrom at the corner of the box, who curls one in, quite similar ball to what we saw from Kilmarnock for their goal. And it comes to Fabio Silva, who nudges the defender out the way, kind of quite similar to how the St Mirren striker did to Balogun last week. Nudges the defender out the way at the back post and squats it home. Really good finish, really good goal. And then his celebration was a wee bit strange. Basically telling the fans to shut up. Well, it was what it looked like. He might have been saying something else, but he basically looked like he was telling the fans to shut up and then pointing to his name. He's not had the most lucrative loan spell here at Rangers. It's a really interesting tactic at a moment when you want the fans to be behind you.
Yeah, that was a strange one. I think we read during the week that it's unlikely that Fabio Silva will come back here next season. I don't really think that's a surprise. No. In fact, I thought that was obvious, right? Yeah. If Wolves are wanting 15 million for him, I don't think he's going to be coming to Rangers. So that was a bit of a strange report. The celebration was strange as well, because look, there's two sides of this. I like a player that's got a bit about them, and when they receive criticism, they want to prove people wrong, and I'm all for that. But I just thought that was he maybe just went over a little bit there. Standing in front of the Union Bears, holding his top in terms of look at the name in the back, and giving that kind of gesture of keep talking. I just thought you've maybe went a wee bit too far. When I first seen it, I said it to you. I thought I like that in a player. Like, I'm going to prove you wrong. I think you need that as a professional. I think every professional footballer to get to the highest level possible has to have that little bit of arrogance, self-confidence. But I thought today that was just a little bit over the line, and probably tells you that he's not really bothered now in terms of the sport, because he knows he's probably not going to be here. So it's very much, he's probably, I was going to say he's in it for himself. Of course he's not. He scored a goal and he definitely contributed to the team today, but I just thought, just a bit strange, wasn't it, really, overall?
Yeah, if he wants to go and make it the Fabio Silva show for the rest of the season, then by all means go do it.
That means we'll be successful, then I'm all for it.
Exactly, so if he wants to do that, but he needs to show much better than what he's been doing if he's going to have that kind of reaction. And I've seen on social media it's not particularly gone down well with many Rangers fans.
I'm not surprised by that.
I think he needs to do his talking more on the pitch now. But it was a good goal. He scored into break one each. We saw the change. Ben Davies came on for Leon Balogun at half time. It's kind of suspect it must have been an injury or something for Leon Balogun, because it's unlike Philippe Clement to change a central defence partnership at that point. But Ben Davies came on, the lesser spotted Ben Davies came on, and we saw Souttar move to the right hand side of defence, which a lot of us think is his preferred position.
Yeah, definitely.
Ben Davies came on the left hand side, and I thought we took control of the second half straight from the start. We looked in full control. Kilmarnock were sitting further off, and as soon as I saw the first couple of minutes of the second half, I was entirely confident we were going to go on and win this game. Yeah,
on the change initially, I think it probably is an injury for Leon Balogun. We'll obviously wait to hear about that. I think, moving Souttar to the right hand side, he certainly looked more comfortable in the second half. I understand why he's been playing there this season, because Connor Goldson. And maybe Clement has looked at that in terms of overall, I'm not going to move someone now before games to go, and I'll just keep him there. But I did think he looked better. I actually liked the change with Ben Davies regardless of the injury, because Rangers are going to have a lot of the ball, and that is something that Ben Davies does have. He's very good with the ball at his feet, distribution wise, so that made sense for me. But I think the way that we started the second half was definitely a lot better in terms of the utilising the space. I thought the two wide areas, both sides were working a lot better together. I thought Silva and Barisic had a bit of a better understanding. And I thought Tavernier and Sterling straight away in the second half, you could see they were trying to play more balls in behind. So I think that helped us out. And also, the two centre-backs were a lot further up the pitch, and it was allowing kind of Lundstrom and Diamante to just kind of try and find spaces to pick up the ball in dangerous areas. So credit to the manager on that. He's obviously made some changes, and that's what I wanted to see, because I thought in the first half we didn't utilise the space and the extra man properly. Second half we did, and we got the rewards. Yeah,
there's a few goals to talk about, thankfully, in the second half, so let's fire through those. So the second goal, I think it's a corner, is hit out to John Lundstrom at the edge of the box, chests it down, fires in a low shot, goalkeeper makes a decent save, it pies it out, and it's Ben Davies is there to, I'm going to call it bundle it home, you're going to call it a screamer, but
smashed it home.
Bundle it home, and it's 2-1, and you felt the relief around the stadium when that went in.
Did Ben Davies not score a very similar goal against Real Betis? I'm sure he did. It was actually very similar in terms of just getting in there and bundling in. Look, Ben Davies has his criticism. That's fair. I think everyone has their own opinion on Ben Davies. It's funny, we actually sent a tweet out earlier in the week about Ben Davies, and then the replies in there were quite interesting in terms of how people view the player.
There were a couple of people came back straight away and then
they were saying, it didn't mean it, I was only joking, which is that's all part of it, is everyone's allowed their opinion. And I was really happy for him today, because I thought he came on. I did think with the ball at his feet he looked pretty good for someone that's not played a lot of football. Thought defensively he was fine. But you know what it's like, it must be really difficult for a player that's out for that level of time and you're getting that much criticism from the sport, because let's be honest, probably everyone sitting at half time was like, why are we bringing Ben Davies on? So I know you don't rate defenders on how many goals they score, right, unless it's James Tavernier, but I was just really happy for him in that moment, and he celebrated the goal that way. I think it was a bit of relief for him. He's came back and he's made an impact straight away.
It was really good to see the whole team gather around him as well.
Exactly, and that's what you want, because he's been out for a long time. Part of that's injury, part of that not favoured by the manager, but he's been called upon today by the manager and he's delivered. And that's what you want of everyone in the squad. When they're called upon, they come in and they make a difference, and he done it.
He absolutely did. Another substitute that came on and made a difference was Tom Lawrence. Todd Cantwell, I thought, had an okay game. Went off shortly after we went 2-1 up. I think that was maybe just a bit of protection ahead of next week's game at Celtic Park. But Tom Lawrence came on and almost instantly runs. Ross McCausland plays him the ball. He nutmegs the Kilmarnock player, keeps running, and then I was screaming for him to pass out wide. I think it was to Silva that was screaming for him to pass it wide, but he chops back in on his right foot and he curls an absolute beauty into the top right hand corner, and what a finish, and what a way to put us in the comfort zone, I guess, of being 2 goals ahead. Yeah, what a way to seal the victory, really. Yeah, it's actually a really good goal. I think just before it, Stuart Finlay challenges with Dessers and he's claiming for a free kick. And what I like to see for Rangers is they're not getting involved in it, it's just play on. Dessers does well to shield the ball. McCausland picks it up, plays it into Lawrence. And I think you're right, the easy option is to play wide to Silva. But that's a player showing a little bit of confidence. He's came back inside. There's a few I've seen with Lawrence where he's bluttered it. But he does have that in his locker where he can find the back of the net from range. And what a goal that is, especially just coming on. It's hardly warmed up really, and he does that straight away. And like I said before, that's what you want from your substitutes, make some sort of impact in the game, and he's done that. And it's I think that might have been up there for a contender of goal of the season, just because of the way that we've built to that goal. Obviously that's been given now. I say it's a bit of a shame the awards are given so early, but that's a different discussion.
He's just missed out on at least being in the debate, because I thought it was a really well worked goal. But that's what you get from Tom Lawrence. I think his form lately has been a wee bit up and down.
We've just not seen enough from him, really, have we?
That's it. Unfortunately, injuries as well catch up with players as well when he's been out for so long. But look, came on, made an impact today, and what a goal. Yeah,
absolutely. And then we knew that Celtic had scored 3 goals without reply yesterday at home. At very minimum, we wanted to have a nothing lost weekend as such, and we had 15 minutes after that Tom Lawrence goal to really push, and I didn't really feel like we did. I didn't really feel like we peppered the Kilmarnock goal. I didn't feel like the urgency was necessarily there from the players for that, but thankfully, just as we came towards the end of the game, Ridvan Yilmaz showed exactly what we get from him that's different from Borna Barisic. Showed real positivity, he showed his pace down the line, a couple of really great crosses, and it was one of those that came in, the ball came back, and John Souttar rose highest and put the ball in the back of the net in stoppage time to make it 4-1, and in the end, it was an entirely comfortable scoreline, an entirely comfortable afternoon, but it wasn't necessarily one that we felt during it while we were experiencing it.
Yeah, I think first half and second half, big differences between Rangers' performance, and you're kind of feeling towards the game. But yeah, again, really happy for John Souttar. I think he looked a lot better on the right hand side in the second half, and he does really well. Shows a lot of determination to get up there and head it home. And I agree with you with Ridvan. Again, I'm going to say I thought Barisic was fine. I've seen him play a lot worse.
Yeah. and that can't be the barometer.
But I know. But I just think sometimes we're always very quick to jump on players when they're poor, but we don't give them the same. So I thought delivery again today from Borna. He's always going to have that, isn't he? I think it's the pace is lost with him, but in terms of that delivery, the technique, it's really good.
Yeah.
So. But you did, like you said, Ridvan came on, you could see a difference straight away. Also coming inside the pitch, Ridvan's really good at. He's very comfortable in there. So great to see him back ahead of next week, because we're at that stage of the season where you don't have time to bed players in and get them ready, get them up to speed. If Ridvan is now what we consider fit, he must start next week. Simple as that.
I think we'll see Ridvan start next week, and Abdul Asima was very active down there with Luke come on.
Got a feeling he'll be fit as well.
A feeling that he might be playing an important role next Saturday lunchtime as well. Right, 4-1 victory for Rangers, 3 points. We remain 3 points behind Celtic with 3 games to go. Big one next week at Celtic Park. If Rangers can get the win, then who knows where that might lead us. But thank you very much, Ross, for joining us this one. Thank you very much, everyone, for watching. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed the content, and keep an eye out for Scott Patterson and the team later on today for a wider look at Rangers, the impact of what today's game means, and I'll start to look ahead to next week. Thank you very much, everyone. Until next time, goodbye.